Imagine a vault holding over $200 million in assets. It has no guards, no alarms, and no physical lock, yet it remains completely untouched, sitting exactly where it was abandoned over a century ago, 2.5 miles straight down in the pitch black of the Atlantic. At this depth, the ocean itself acts as the ultimate security system. The crushing pressure exceeds 6,000 pounds per square inch. It is an environment so hostile that retrieving even a single gold coin requires millions of dollars in specialized robotics. This ruined vault is the RMS Titanic. This staggering concentration of wealth didn't bleed away through market crashes or poor investments. It vanished entirely, swallowed by the sea in a single freezing night in April 1912. How did the world's most concentrated financial portfolio end up in one highly vulnerable location? And what does the loss of that fortune reveal about the true nature of value? Long before any passengers stepped aboard, the ship itself required an enormous capital expenditure. The White Star Line spent $7.5 million constructing the Titanic. In 1912, that level of funding represented the absolute pinnacle of corporate ambition. To move 52,000 tons of steel across the ocean demanded staggering mechanical investment. These massive reciprocating engines were the bleeding edge of industrial technology, requiring thousands of tons of coal and round-the-clock labor to maintain. But the real financial weight of the Titanic lay in its cargo. First-class tickets were purchased by the titans of global industry, a highly exclusive demographic of the ultra-wealthy. These passengers traveled with their assets. Tucked into steamer trunks and personal safes was an estimated $200 million in highly liquid, portable wealth. We are talking about raw cash, solid gold bars, and countless diamond pieces. Inside the ship, surrounded by gilded woodwork and ornate chandeliers, it felt like an impenetrable fortress. Yet just inches beyond that decorated steel lay the freezing, violent reality of the North Atlantic. The Titanic functioned as a floating, heavily concentrated portfolio for the global elite. That entire $7.5 million investment was compromised in seconds. A glancing blow against an iceberg buckled the hull plates, instantly flooding the ship's forward watertight compartments. As the tilt of the deck steepened, a harsh reality set in among the passengers. All the gold and cash secured in the purser's safe could not buy a watertight seal. The liquid assets could not pump out the freezing water. This diagram shows the ship's total population. The Titanic was carrying over 2,200 people, a volume perfectly legal under the outdated maritime regulations of the time, which based safety requirements on a ship's physical tonnage rather than its passenger count. But when you calculate the available safety equipment, a deadly deficit emerges. The ship only carried enough lifeboats for fewer than 1,200 people. In economics, there is a concept called utility value, which measures how useful an item is in a specific context. At 2 in the morning, in the middle of a freezing ocean, a single wooden seat in a lifeboat instantly gained infinite utility value, while a bag full of diamonds dropped to zero. The ocean executed a flawless heist. In under 3 hours, nature took a $200 million portfolio and stripped it of every ounce of practical value. Today, the remains of that engineering marvel sit quietly in the silt. The grand staircases are gone, consumed by iron-eating bacteria, leaving behind mundane debris. This presents a modern financial paradox. The logistical costs of chartering research vessels, deploying deep-sea submersibles, and preserving artifacts in specialized labs often far outweigh the actual market value of the items retrieved from the seafloor. To make the math work, the items brought to the surface are rarely sold for their intrinsic material worth. Instead, they are monetized through ticketed global exhibitions, commodified behind protective glass. The transition from shipwreck to museum piece sparked intense legal battles over salvage rights, transforming the gravesite into a complex modern financial asset. Yet, fixating on the recovered physical wealth completely misses the true deficit of that night. Over 1,500 lives were lost when the ship went down, a staggering human cost that no court or salvage company can ever recover. The wreck reveals the sharp boundaries of what wealth can actually accomplish. A $7.5 million machine can conquer distance, but it cannot purchase a single second of survival against the indifferent forces of nature.